Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Kiyomi Takahashi from Sasakawa Health Foundation. Thank you so much for your participation in our webinar. Don't forget leprosy, role of youth discussion shared from 3 regions. Sasakawa Leprosy Initiative is going to organize a global youth forum in March with the aim of bringing young people together, stimulating discussions, and promoting collaboration and networking. Prior to the forum, the preparatory meetings were held in 3 regions between December and January. This webinar will feature highlights from these regional meetings as well as present discussions between young participants and the Goodwill Ambassador about the role of young people in terms of raising awareness of leprosy. This webinar is the side event of the Global Appeal. Now we would like to start the webinar. First, we'd like to have an opening remarks from Mr. Yohei Sasakawa. He is the chairman of the foundation and WHO Goodwill Ambassador for Leprosy Elimination. Mr. Sasakawa, very welcome.
Para eliminação de lepra.
皆さん、こんにちは、あるいはこんばんは、あるいはおはようございます。私はWHOのハンセン病制圧大使をしております笹川洋平と申します。今日お集まりの中にはすでにお目にかかった方も何人かいらっしゃいますけども、また初めてお目にかかる方もいらっしゃいます。私は40年の長きにわたりまして世界からこのレプロシー、ハンセン病をなくす戦いを進めております。すでに122カ国の国々を回っております。私は冷暖房の効いた美しいオフィスで読むことをあまり好みません。私は現場には問題点と答えがあるということで、あらゆる国の現場を見て回りました。しかしながらこの2年間、コロナのために皆様方の国に行けないことは大変残念でございますが、逆にこういうオンライン、ウェビナーを活用して、一度に多国間の皆さんと話をできるということも大変有効な方法ではないかと思っております。毎年私はグローバルアピールというものをハンセン病の日1月30日に発出しております。これは第1回はノーベル平和賞をもらわれた5人の方々、ダライ・ラマさんですとか、あるいはデスモンド・ツツさんですとか、カーター大統領ですとか、多くの方々に参加していただき、今年は世界のこの保健医療に関する多くの財団の皆さんの協力をいただきました。今まで各宗教の指導者、世界の医師会、あるいはハンセン病にまつわる法律がたくさん残っておりますから、そういう法律を変えてもらうための世界の放送会の法律家の皆さんのアピールも出してきました。そういう中でこのコロナでございますので、ともすれば各国におけるレプロシー対策、ハンセン病対策が遅れをとっていることは 事実でございますが、そこで私たちはこのウェビナーあるいはオンラインによってDon't forget leprosy、 こういうコロナの中でもレプロシーを忘れないでください。なんとか世界から一日も早くこの病気を治し、なくし、そして長く患者さんあるいは回復者を苦しめてきた人権上の問題、偏見や差別も、これも当然なくしていかなければいけないと、こういう活動をオンラインを通じてさせていただいておりますが、特にこれからは回復者の皆さんが世界のハンセン病の病気、そして差別をなくすリーダーになっていただきたいと思うと同時に、さらに最近では若い方々が戦いに参加し、積極的に活動をしていただいているということは大変心強いことでございます。今日は皆様方の経験をお聞かせいただき、何が問題点なのか、どうしたらいいのか、皆様方と共に考え活動し、そしてハンセン病のない世界、そして差別のない世界を作るために、皆様方と共に力を合わせて活動をしていきたいと願っております。そういうことで今日は皆様方にお集まりをいただいたことを心から歓迎をいたしますと同時に、実りある充実した会議にしていこうではありませんか。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
Thank you so much for your remarks. Next, we'd like to view a video. Thank you so much for remarks. Next, we'd like to view a video message from Dr. Alice Cruz, UN Special Rapporteur on the elimination of discrimination against persons affected by leprosy and family members.
Hi everybody, I am so excited to participate in this wonderful meeting organized by Sasakawa Health Foundation. Indeed, one of our greatest concerns as a community is how to ensure sustainability of efforts. We need the new generations to engage and give continuity to the wonderful work that dozens of generations have been doing for decades in the fight for the human rights of persons affected by leprosy. Another topic which I believe is very much important to us all is how to ensure the participation of children and teenagers affected by leprosy, especially in policy making. Children and teenagers affected by leprosy have an experience of their own, which is quite different from adults, and they have a culture and knowledge of their own, which should be integrated into policy making. So let me congratulate all the organizations who have organized these regional forums for a wonderful job. I have learned so much from these forums, and I would like to highlight how all the organizations mentioned the important skills that younger generations have with regard to communication, and how communication is key to eliminate harmful stereotypes, the same harmful stereotypes that keep leading to stigmatization against persons affected by leprosy. We do know that traditional media has lost its power, and we need the expertise of younger generations to use social media, but also community media to eliminate those same harmful stereotypes. I was very much impressed by particular experiences that were shared during this forum, such as a study group created by younger generations for older persons affected by leprosy who do not know how to read or write. But I was also struck to see how stigmatization on the grounds of leprosy continues to cause so much suffering and harm to younger people, young family members of persons affected by leprosy who prefer not to develop their full potential in life in order to keep leprosy as a secret. We know, especially older people know very well, older generations like me, we know that when one keeps something secret about himself or herself, that same person will not feel good about himself or herself. Because we need to be strong, feel strong about ourselves, and not be afraid. So I believe that we all as a community have a responsibility here, a responsibility to strengthen and promote a positive idea about leprosy. A positive idea that allows younger people affected by leprosy or young family members to feel strong, to feel safe, to feel positive. And with that, they will change the world. I believe that the organizations have put forward very important recommendations for the engagement of younger generations in the fight for the human rights of persons affected by leprosy. And I do hope that international organizations can support them in putting those same recommendations into practice. But one thing that I believe could be very much important is to create schools in which younger generations can learn leadership skills. Leprosy is much more than a health issue. It is also a political issue. And the young people should be able to learn from older people, all the representatives of organizations of persons affected, leadership skills. But we do need diversity. And I do hope that in 1.5 years from now, you will see a new face, a new voice, new ideas representing the mandate of the special rapporteur. Because we do need diversity, we do need new voices, new ideas, innovation. And with that in mind, I would like to invite a very special person to close my participation, someone from whom I learn every day, and someone who is very much engaged in the rights of nature, but also who knows many of the organizations that represent persons affected by leprosy and its leaders, and who is very much committed to leprosy. Leo, please.
Hello, my name is Leo. I want to live in a world that doesn't discriminate anyone, so please don't forget leprosy.
Exactly. Please don't forget leprosy, and let us all support younger people affected by leprosy, young family members, and just young people who wish to contribute to this amazing mission of enforcing the human rights of persons affected by leprosy. Thank you.
Now we would like to have 3 presentations from each region. So we'd like to invite Dr. Michael Chen, Secretary General at Hand Rehabilitation and the Welfare Association China. Welcome, Mr. Chen.
Bem-vindo.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
Bom dia, como estão?
Thank you so
senhores?
much for this opportunity to share some of our
Estou contente em ter esta oportunidade de partilhar
the results
of
from our forums, and really appreciate that Sasakawa Memorial Health Foundation organized this opportunity. So I will very briefly summarize that outcome and lessons forums from Asia Youth Forums. Anyway, I will go forward. So in this forums, it was held on 16th December 2021, and more than 100 participants from 6 countries engaged in these forums. They including participants from
mais de 100 participantes de
Bangladesh,
vários países
China,
participando
India,
neste fórum.
Indonesia, Myanmar, and Nepal.
Fórum Asiático de Jovens.
I think, in fact, there's much more people want to join, but due to some of the technical issues, we're not able to have so many. So there's only about 100 people. And the objective of this forum is to collect ideas and suggestions from participants on these aspects, which will help to find the directions on further engage the potentials of younger people. So you can see that there are 3 sections in these forums, including the experience sharing and discussions on these 3 topics, including how to reduce the stigma and discrimination, and how to engage the younger generation, and the experience of promoting access to health service. So these 3 sections were facilitated by Permata in Indonesia and also Handa from China. Next slide, please. So in the first sections, the experience on how to reduce stigma and discriminations and the roles of the youth was shared by Yuli from Permata, South Sulawesi, Indonesia. It is pointed out that there are still some negative discrimination about leprosy in constitutions or other documents of reports. And actions need to be taken to promote the amendment and avoid any discrimination rules and messages and in any constitution and documents. So it is fully agreed that education activity help to reduce the prejudice and discrimination and promote the positive relationship through challenging the stereotype and myths about leprosy. And it was stressed that the education activity should not only hide from the high level, which is important and necessary, but they often doesn't reach the real lives of the people. So it should also carry out at the village level and engage the younger generation. So this can be through training, discussion, and peer influence, etc. And with the development of the technique, social media has become a very important and powerful education and influence tools. So it should become one of the most important means to communicate our message and our values. So to fully use social media, we need to engage younger generation. So this is the key, and this will bring the positive change of the people's attitude toward leprosy. And on the second section, that the experience of how to engage and support the young people to work in the leprosy field was shared by Sally from Handa, a Chinese people's organization. And as a people's organization, Handa has been running for 25 years and has built up its accountability and high reputation in nonprofit sectors, nationally and also globally. And it has engaged many younger generations working together with the people affected by leprosy, but still facing some challenge as well. So after the experience sharing, we have deep discussions among the participants on this issue, and it was concluded and suggests that it is clear for us people's organizations should play a key role in fighting against leprosy or Hansen disease. But agents of the leader, weak and low capacity of the organizations are the main barriers, preventing these organizations fully taking their activity roles. So cultivating the potential younger generation who share the common goal, including the people who are not affected by leprosy, is extremely important to keep the issues on the agenda and don't let it be forgotten. So we should still keep the leprosy as a important agenda. and to attract more younger generation to engage in the issues, build on the capacity and accountability of the people's organization is the key to success. And on the other hand, we need to provide sufficient support to the youth. A supportive platform for the youth to learn, to grow, to communicate, and to show the problems and the challenge they are facing is extremely important. So in the third section, the experience on how to promote the access to health service and rehabilitation for people affected by leprosy was shared by Alcadro from Permata in Indonesia. And it was an open section after this experience sharing. So it is pointed out that as the number of new cases decreased, the service to the special needs of the people affected by leprosy, such as reconstruction surgery, wound care, etc., are decreasing or even no more available. The complicated referral system is also made very difficult for the people to access to the necessary service. Also, with the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, medical service became very scarce and unavailable. People are facing great physical challenges as well as the serious mental stress. So it is strongly suggests that special consultation and treatment should be provided and made accessible to the patients and the people affected by leprosy. And it also stressed that the health service should not just focus on the new case detection and MDT. There are also a lot of people who have been cured from the disease, but still facing great challenge due to the disease. These people are usually not included in the medical care system or not included in the health insurance policy as well. So to prevent the physical disability, some participants raised that the compensation should be given to those who develop disability due to the mismanagement during or after MDT treatment. And effective treatment and management should be provided to ensure that no repeated reactions during and after MDT. To deal with this challenge, it is suggested that people's organizations should play an important role to raise the voice of the people affected by leprosy and to promote and protect the rights of the people. It is important and necessary to raise the attentions of the government and policymakers to the issues of leprosy. So leprosy is still to be a very important issue, and make sure that leprosy is not forgotten. And effective policy and service should be provided and easy access by the people. So with all the experience sharing and discussion, and it is concluded that first, for people's organizations should play an important role in fighting against leprosy and build up the capacity and accountability is the key to ensure them to play this important role. Secondly, raising the voice of the people by networking, including the people and people's organization, so that to promote the rights of the people and ensure the effective policy and medical service are available to meet the needs of the people affected by leprosy. And it is important to engage the youth in all aspects for development and sustainability of the organizations, and also effective service to the people and education to the mass, especially the people in the village level. And finally, the last one is it is necessary to build a communication platform for the youth so that they can share their information, experience, and even the resources for the better engagement in this field. So this is the summary of our forums. So we have a lot of people participate and they share their experience and have a lot of discussion. And this is the main summary of this forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your presentation. And next, we'd like to invite Mr. Teshifai, Tadesse Teshifai from Nepal. Welcome back. The floor is yours.
Good evening, good afternoon for everybody. Say thank you for the Sasakawa Health Foundations for the preparation of this meeting, this webinar, and the opportunity that creates to bring all users and disabled organization together. So last times on January 11th, we conducted African regional meeting. So as everybody knows that the purpose of regional meeting was to provide an opportunity for people, organizations, and those interested in leprosy services. So, and then as a result, to share experience and challenge, to know challenges and how to escape the challenges, to mitigate the challenges, and such kind of things was the purpose. So it is a new initiative and which attempt to bring together vibrant forces in the battle of the stigma and discriminations against persons affected by leprosy and their family. So based on this, we as an Africans, we organizing a meeting and January 11 into 2022, and that was co-hosted by Ethiopian National Association Persons Affected by Leprosy and Sasakawa and Addis Tasfa Youth, the newly joined organizations in Ethiopia, who is working on leprosy, and they are the family of persons affected by leprosy, and the participants of the meeting drawn from nine African countries, namely Ethiopia, Morocco, Tanzania, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Mozambique, and Kenya. So totally there are 28 participants who were attending the meeting. That was the first experience, and it was very good. So the detailed activity was that there was an opening speech by Nepal, and then the remark, and following the opening speech, also Mr. Professor Takahiro was presenting that the next speech that is welcoming and keynote addressing the meeting. Finally, during the speech, there are different points arise, but to mention some of it based on my time, especially the Nepal is appreciating and all participants, especially it is the first time that we bring together in Africa. So actually, we know that there are a number of organizations remain, but this is a good start. That we will try to strengthen the alliance between the Africans, and the other is we mentioned that this initiative really is very timely and important, which contributed to the World Leprosy Day and the Global Youth Forum. So that is a very important session. And as I mentioned, that the next speakers, I mean, Professor Takahiro was emphasizing what I have said that. So because of the time, I will jump. Then and then following the speech, there are three PowerPoint presentations. One presentation is it's exemplary experience of the second generations in Ethiopia. That what I mentioned at Addis Tasfa Association organization is established by the descendant of the persons affected by leprosy, and they become organizing, and they are supporting their families and their communities, and even they are now registered as nationally to work for persons affected by leprosy, and they are exercising they are exercising to replicate such issues, such kind of organizations, arrangement to other side of the countries. We have different settlements, so this exemplary workers may be it's a good indicator, a good examples to work. I mean, to establish on the other settlements. This and above that, they present what they have done as after they established regarding to the rehabilitations, regarding to self-care, regarding to the COVID preventions, COVID support, and development support like schools, bridging, building of the bridging, and to access for the school, and also fulfillment of the facility of the schools in new computers for the schools. Almost more than 20 something computers were supported by this and used. So, and even they are very close to support the members of the association. I mean, the members, persons affected by leprosy. So this is a good example. They present this and the others many points. And the second presentation was by also by Mr. Hunanyao, who is graduating from Addis Ababa University by master's degree, and he presented that the stigma manifested on marriage, especially for persons affected by leprosy. He presented how people affected by leprosy, I mean the family of affected by leprosy, are really affected by their life when they are establishing marriage. And so he come up with many research, many points, and he discussed, and really that was a very good experience. That will be we will continue to make to publish and other things, and even we will take the step, and we will conduct further research. Really, the stigma due to the stigma created on persons affected, family of persons affected by leprosy, how they are really really challenging due to the leprosy on their marriage status. And the third one is coalitions and alliance to fight against stigma and discrimination against persons affected by leprosy and their family, by Mr. Johanna Abdukar from Nigeria. So he's presenting a long point. He presented very vital how the coalition is very important. So such points were raised during our meeting. Subsequently, finally, every participant is concluded that really such kind of organization, such kind of sessions are very important to bring the strengthening of youth coalitions at the regional. So from the regional, we will make the global youth forum. So this is how we are fighting the stigma and discriminations widely. Because if we come together, if we are coming together, we can fight strongly. We can speak out strongly. So such experience is very important. So as I said, that it is very important and vital to strengthen youth associations. So this is what the last sessions what we have done. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Next, we'd like to invite Mr. Marcos Costa from Mohan, Brazil. Mr. Costa, the floor is yours.
Good morning. My name is Marcos. 22 years old in live in Mato Grosso, Brazil, and began diagnosis with Hansen's disease a few years ago and recovered. And pursued a bachelor's and degree in nursing at the Federal University of Mato Grosso, and currently a research associate for the Global Partnership for Leprosy and the Research Center in Morgan National. Working as coordinator of the Morgan Center in Barra and Mato Grosso, and coordinator of the International Department representing in the National Coordination of Morgan, and collegiate director representing in the National Coordination of Morgan, and leader of the self-care group for people affected with Hansen's disease, and municipal health coordinator in Mato Grosso. O slide anterior, por favor. Neste slide a gente traz os participantes que estiveram com a gente, né, no encontro latino-americano de jovens atingidos pela leucemia, e contamos com a participação da Felle Hansen, da Colômbia, a pessoa da nossa amiga Lucrécia. Contamos também com a participação da UFT. Próximo slide, por favor.
The next slide, please.
Próximo.
The next.
Como eu disse, tivemos participação do Felle Hansen,
As I
da Colômbia.
said, we had the participation from the young people.
E outros países da América Latina, né,
from the other countries of Latin America as well.
Fizeram presença neste evento. Próximo slide, por favor.
And they made their presence registered in this meeting. Next slide, please.
Neste quadro, a gente tem a proporção de participação das pessoas, né? O nosso número de
Here we can see the proportion of the people's participation from various countries in this particular graphics.
O nosso número de participação foi 53 pessoas.
53 persons participated from our country.
Em Brasil, tivemos 81% de participação na média geral.
And that was 81% of participation from Brazil itself.
Seguido da Colômbia com 15% e Peru e
From
Nicarágua.
Colombia, we had 15% participation.
E no Brasil, segundo dados do Ministério da Saúde, a gente estava em torno de 45% de diminuição de notificação
in Brazil,
de casos.
As per the data from the Ministry of Health, 45% of the new cases in 2020 were not diagnosed. So this is the proportion of the epidemiology.
E isso é um dado preocupante, porque ele reafirma
a worrying data.
Que a hanseníase foi esquecida, né, como diversas outras doenças tropicais. E isso é um dado alarmante.
And this happened with the other diseases as well.
Quando há esse esquecimento por parte de órgãos da saúde, as demais esferas da comunidade também sofrerá com esses impactos.
And with this forgetfulness of the disease, the whole society suffered.
Em 2020, com o adendo da Covid-19, os jovens sofreram com 23%, né, de desemprego. A porcentagem dos jovens desempregados no Brasil foi de 23%, né, o que mostra os impactos da pandemia socioeconomicamente.
The unemployment rate of the young people in Brazil in 2020 was 23%.
Em fase laboral, fase de trabalho.
In the work field.
Agora, pegando essa média e comparando com as pessoas que têm hanseníase,
and when we look at this data and compare,
uma doença que gera o preconceito relacionado à patologia em si,
this is a
já
disease
gera.
which generates
Então, a pessoa
prejudices.
teve a taxa de desemprego elevada por conta da pandemia,
And therefore,
certamente,
because of the pandemic and the preconceived notions against this disease, it creates even more unemployment.
então a pandemia em si, ela teve um impacto significante na vida social, econômica, saúde, bem como
Pandemic had its impact
nas pessoas que tiveram hanseníase. Isso em Brasil e na América Latina. E aí, com isso, para fazer a mediação desse encontro, foi elaborado 5 perguntas, né, que nortearam as nossas atividades, né, que nortearam para a produção do relatório que foi encaminhado à Sasakawa, né? E dentre essas perguntas, eu não vou estar respondendo todas as respostas, vou estar pegando um contexto geral que foi apresentado, né? A primeira, você acha que houve um esquecimento da hanseníase na Covid-19? Então, tivemos algumas perguntas que nortearam o nosso encontro, né? E dentre elas, você acha que foi esquecido?
We asked certain questions in this meeting.
Se sim, como você acha que devemos encarar isso? Né? A Covid, então, como foi apresentado em dados anteriores, ela teve um forte impacto sobre a vida dessas pessoas. E a hanseníase, ela foi esquecida sim. Como eu disse, há dados do Ministério da Saúde que comprovam que houve uma diminuição de diagnósticos em torno de 45%, né? Durante a pandemia da
and
Covid.
as per the data provided by the Ministry of Health, 43% of the people did not get diagnosis.
E os impactos sociais, socioeconômicos foram evidentes
And there were social economic impact as well.
E aí partimos então para as arguições, né? Como deve ser enfrentado a hanseníase, né? E boa parte disso indo para a mídia, né? Com campanhas especialmente em veículos de comunicação.
Therefore, it was necessary that we run a media campaign.
E cobrando essas ações de organizações governamentais, né?
With the government and with the non-governmental agencies.
No entanto, vale lembrar que com a pandemia e com essa reinvenção do acesso,
therefore, we must remember that with the pandemic,
as pessoas elas tiveram que se reinventar. No entanto, nem todas conseguiram se adequar a essa nova realidade. Quando eu digo isso,
therefore, the people had to understand this new reality.
Ter acesso à internet, acesso à telefonia celular e acesso
people
ao
had
meio,
access to internet, to the cellular technology.
E isso acaba prejudicando o acesso a essas pessoas, né? Então, outro tópico elencado foi fortalecendo estratégias com a rede de...
The other topic was to strengthen our strategy.
A sociedade civil, sociedade geral, da sociedade
with the
acadêmica,
civil society,
promovendo aí essa interação e troca de conhecimentos.
And make stronger our exchange of information.
Pergunta número 2. Que dificuldades os jovens acometidos pela hanseníase têm? Se você é um familiar jovem, explique também...
The second question was, what are the difficulties that the young people affected by Hansen's disease have? And if you are a family member, then what difficulties did you face or do you face?
A maioria dos jovens, eles disseram que as maiores dificuldades são a dificuldade em conseguir um trabalho, né? E as dificuldades relacionadas ao estigma estrutural envolto à hanseníase, ao estigma.
The majority of the young people said that the big problem was employment, and the second was also the stigmatization in the society.
pois muitos empregadores acabam por não contratar o indivíduo afetado pela hanseníase quando sabe deste diagnóstico. Os mesmos relataram ainda que as dificuldades, as sequelas que a doença trouxe impossibilitavam de ingressar no mercado de trabalho. E isso, além de dificultar a parte socioeconômica, a questão psicossocial desse indivíduo é afetada também. Pergunta 3. Como, na sua opinião, pode ser enfrentado o estigma da hanseníase? Boa parte dos jovens disseram que o estigma ele deve ser tratado de uma forma com que a doença venha a ser explicada de uma forma reinventada, né? Promover o conhecimento acerca da realidade das pessoas, desmistificando o que é a hanseníase, né? Porque, infelizmente, ainda na nossa realidade, as pessoas elas têm um conhecimento um pouco distorcido sobre a doença, né? E seria de suma importância a participação dos jovens para reinventar como que se dá o contato, como que se dá a transmissão da doença a fim de diminuir o estigma relacionado à mesma, né?
So when young people were asked how we can change this perception, then they say that we have to reinvent this disease, and we have to change the way people think by demystifying this disease.
Então, trazer a história de uma forma recriada, né? Recriar a história de uma forma
this story has to be recreated
na linguagem atual, jovem.
In the present language.
Na pergunta 4, como criar espaços de participação dos jovens na luta contra a hanseníase, né?
The fourth question was about the struggle of the young people against this disease and the stigmatization from this disease.
Para que esses jovens possam apresentar as suas ideias, as suas opiniões e com isso consigam ter voz, né, para a formulação.
How the young people could voice their opinion, how they could come up with ideas.
Ao estigma relacionado à hanseníase, né? Então,
especially how to fight the stigma related to this disease.
Utilizar de meios de divulgação das organizações e informação sobre a hanseníase nas redes sociais, né, observando que boa parte dos jovens, boa parte, não digo todos, tem acesso à telefonia celular e às redes sociais. Então, seria uma das estratégias de chegar até esses jovens, né, de uma forma recriada e de uma forma num contexto audiovisual, né, que contemplem essa
And
esfera.
now that a very good section of the young people have access to the internet and to the mobile technology, it would be a good idea for the young people to run campaign in this social media. So social media campaigns could bring fruit while fighting the stigma related to the disease, to create a consciousness.
Visto que grande parte dos jovens estão diariamente conectados em redes sociais.
And these people are already connected in the social networks.
E neste caso deveria ser avaliado também a questão das pessoas que não têm acesso, e aí entraria com articulações com órgãos governamentais para facilitar o acesso dessas pessoas à internet e redes de telefonia celular, seja a redes de comunicação no contexto geral. E
therefore,
também a
access to the
realização
network, to the social networks, and to the internet telephony is important. And we need to tell the government to help let these people get access to the internet and the mobile technologies.
Bem como a realização de fóruns, né, e eventos, conferências de conselhos, até mesmo rodas de conversa, que promovam um ambiente acolhedor e com que esse jovem ele tenha um espaço de fala e que seja praticado com ele uma escuta ativa, né, que consigam ouvir o que ele diz e com isso consigam traçar estratégias que venham de fato enfrentar a problemática da hanseníase.
This has this is an important point, that how the young people could come to create their own social networks to fight this disease, but also how we could create such campaign in the civil society.
Na última pergunta, né? Como as organizações pela hanseníase podem atrair mais jovens para ajudar e discutir os problemas da
to bring more
hanseníase?
young people into these discussions and debates.
Então, promovendo eventos, né, como já foi citado na questão anterior, e campanhas.
By promoting events, conferences, and meetings.
Ações específicas para atender o público que tenha contraído a hanseníase.
By having specific events, specific programs.
Reinventada, né, e ministrada por palestrantes da mesma faixa etária, conforme foi explicado, né, e visitas domiciliares, grupo de pesquisas liderados por jovens.
And also we could make possible personal or home visits.
A forma mais fácil de percebermos, né, neste encontro de abordar esses jovens,
to understand these problems,
um conhecimento que não seja tão acadêmico a nível universitário, um conhecimento que seja acessível, que todas as pessoas consigam compreender o que está sendo dito, né?
And this has to be done at a universal level, so that all the people could understand what is going on, what is happening, what is this disease, and what is this stigmatization.
E que essas informações fossem distribuídas nas diversas plataformas digitais e mídias sociais, a fim de trabalhar o preconceito que ainda existe sobre a doença e trazer os jovens para a participação do movimento social, né? Utilizar, como foi dito no encontro latino-americano, a sagacidade dos jovens, né, com o conhecimento e a experiência dos mais velhos, né? Então, no departamento intergeracional, a gente tenta trabalhar com essas duas esferas, os conhecimentos e a sabedoria dos mais velhos com a sagacidade do jovem. E com isso, cremos que vamos enfrentar a hanseníase com mais força, com mais...
So we are talking about two things, the knowledge and the experience of the old people. So with the knowledge, when it comes to the young people and their sagacity works, then and when they use the knowledge by the old people, then they are able to create a consciousness in the society. So that is exactly what has been our objective.
Com isso, finalizo minha fala. Obrigado. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcos. Thank you so much. To move on to the discussion between WHO Goodwill Ambassador and young members from 3 regions, Mr. Lau Mahato from India, Mr. Joshua Mamane from Niger, Mr. Marcos Costa from Brazil again. Facilitator is Professor Takahiro Nandi, Executive Director of Sasakawa Health Foundation. Professor Nandi, would you please take the role?
Thank you very much, Kiyomi. I'm so excited to facilitate this panel discussion. And I also welcome Marcos, Joshua, Rahul, and of course, Mr. Sasakawa. At first, may I invite Rahul, Joshua, and Marcos to briefly introduce yourself. I give you 1 minute, so you can introduce yourself briefly, so that the audience, Mr. Sasakawa, can get a clear picture of you. So who should be the first one? Okay, Mr. Rahul. You can introduce yourself very briefly.
नमस्कार और परम आदरणीय सासाकावा जी और सभी इस मीटिंग में सम्मिलित सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। मेरा नाम राहुल महतो है और मैं भौरा गौरकोटी बिरसा कुशलोनी धनबाद से हूँ। मैं अभी सोशल वर्क से ग्रेजुएशन की पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ। मेरा कॉलेज है BBMQ, विनोद बिहारी महतो कॉलेजियल यूनिवर्सिटी। मैं वर्तमान में आत्मा स्वाभिमान संस्था की तरफ से केयर रिलीफ एंड इमरजेंसी सपोर्ट पर काम कर रहा हूँ। इस सुविधा की सहायता से मैंने हमारे कॉलोनियों में चार परिवारों की जान बचाई है।
Thank you very much, Mr. Rahul. We are great to have you at this panel discussion. Next, I want to invite Mr. Joshua.
Bonjour, bonsoir à tous. Je suis très heureux d'être parmi vous pour cette importante réunion. Je suis content en tout cas pour toutes les présentations et en tout cas, comme je vous ai présenté dans la dernière fois, mon nom c'est Joshua. Donc, je suis marié, père d'une fille. Je suis en tout cas né dans une famille affectée par la lèpre. Donc, mes parents et mes grands-parents sont tous touchés par la lèpre. Donc, j'ai fait de longues études avec les soutiens de mes parents et leur encouragement, avec les soutiens de missionnaires. Donc, en tout cas, j'ai fait ma licence en gestion de l'environnement et de la biodiversité. Et je fais un master en développement rural. Et actuellement, je suis encore étudiant à l'Université de Maradi. En même temps, je travaille avec l'association IDEA Niger en qualité de coordonnateur national. Donc, en tout cas, nous menons beaucoup d'activités avec IDEA pour sauver beaucoup de vies, en tout cas, qui sont dans des situations de dépression et dans des situations d'ignorance dues à la lèpre. On fait des sensibilisations, en tout cas. Donc, vraiment, je vous remercie pour cette opportunité qui m'a été accordée. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Mr. Joshua. Mr. Marcos, I think you have already introduced yourself at the previous presentation, but if you want to add something, please go ahead.
Creio que não, eu fiz aquela introdução no início da apresentação, só que for necessário. Então, mais uma vez, meu nome é Marcos, eu tenho 22 anos, sou de Barra do Garças, Mato Grosso, Brasil. Estou coordenador do núcleo do movimento de reintegração das pessoas atingidas pela hanseníase de Barra do Garças. Estou coordenador do departamento intergeracional da coordenação nacional do Morhan. E pesquiso hanseníase associado à Global Partnership for Zero Leprosy, núcleos de pesquisa do Morhan nacional também.
Thank you very much. It is very great to have all of you. Mr. Sasakawa, do you have any comments or reflections about their introductions?
はい、ありがとうございます。3人の若い方々の発言をお聞きいたしました。それぞれのには困難な環境の中から大きな希望を持って人々のために尽くそうとする崇高な精神を皆さん方持っていらっしゃることに心から私は敬服をいたします。ここで今までのお話の中を私流に総括いたしますと、やはりこのウェビナー、オンラインでの会議が大変重要であるということを再認識いたしました。それは基本的にはこのハンセン病の病気をどうするか、そして回復した人でも偏見や差別を受けている、あるいは第二世代の方々にとっては就職すら困難である。こういう中でどのようにして脱却するか、あるいは世界の人々にどのように理解をさせるかということで悩みながらも皆様方が活動しているということだろうと 思います。で、この物事の解決には、私は2つの方法をとってまいりました。1つは、やはりグローバルレベルで、冒頭の挨拶にも申し上げましたが、世界的に影響力のある指導者や団体に、このハンセン病についての正しい理解をしていただいて、アピールを出していただく。もう一つは、今日ご参加の皆様のように、グラスルーツから社会の理解を得るための活動をする。この両方の力が、やはり私は必要だと思っております。そのために、私は2003年にこの国連人権、今は理事会と申しますが、そこを訪問し、7年間かかりましたけども、ニューヨークの国連総会におきまして、193カ国すべてが賛成してくださり、私どもが出しましたハンセン病患者、回復者、そしてその家族に対する差別撤廃の決議案がプリンシプルとガイドラインを含めて可決をされております。この重要な決議事項を皆様方に十分に知られていないということに対して私は大きな反省の気持ちを持っております。この決議案とプリンシプルとガイドラインというのは、これから皆様方が戦っていく上において、あるいは社会を変えていく上にとって大変重要な、それぞれの国で、今日お集まりの皆さんのそれぞれの国で皆さん賛成をしたわけでございますから、これをやはり私としては皆様方に今一度きちっとお配りし、読んでいただき、世界は今変わろうとしてるんだということをご理解をしていただいた上で、皆様方のグラスルーツの活動をしていただければ、大きな自信と勇気を持って私は戦いを進めることができると確信をしております。特に年配の方々におきましては、長い間の苦しみの中で、ともすればセルフディスクリミネーションという問題を抱えている人もたくさんいらっしゃいます。自分たちが社会に声を上げれば、また新たな差別を受けるのではないかという恐怖心を持った方々がたくさんいらっしゃいますが、しかし今説明しましたように、国連で決議が出たということは、このハンセン病に対する新しい時代がここに到来したということになるわけでございまして、特に今日ご発言の若い皆様方がこれを利用していただきまして、私は前々から若い人たちが常に世の中を変えてきた歴史でございます。世界の歴史は常に若者によって変えられてきたんです。そして若者にはチャレンジングな精神があります。ですから、この国連決議をもって一度読んでいただき、若い皆様方がこれから このハンセン病の戦いの中心にぜひなっていただきたいし、なっていただくように、笹川保健財団も皆様もご支援し、皆様方のネットワークもこういうオンラインを使って情報共有をすることが可能な時代になってきましたから、ともすれば皆様方の置かれた場所において孤独の中での戦いで心身ともに疲れてしまうということもあるかもわかりませんが、今やオンラインで世界の同士がつながる時代になってきました。世界は皆様方が連帯ができるこういうオンラインの仕組みもできてきました。そういう中で笹川保健財団は皆様方のそういう活動、そして組織化のためにささやかな協力をするということは強い意志を持っておりますので、どうぞこれから皆様方は勇気を持って発言し行動をしていただく。常に世の中の改革は若い者がしてきたということを皆様方も自信を持っていただきたい。そしてたびたび話が出てますように SNS がこれだけ発達してまいりました。皆様方一人一人が自分の気持ちを社会に対して発言できる。いわば古いこの新聞やラジオ、テレビというものと同じ機能を持ったものを皆様方が一人一人がスマートフォンという形で持っているわけです。皆様方自身がテレビ局を持っている、新聞を持っていると同じ力を持っているわけでございますから、これをやはり大いに活用しようではありませんか。またこのアフターコロナの時代はどういう時代になるかと申せば、私は人類が多様性を認める時代にならざるを得ないと考えております。すでに私の勤めておりますこの笹川保健財団の兄弟組織であります日本財団では世界の500の大企業と連携をしまして、この障害者の雇用をしっかりやっていくと、いわゆる多様性を認めて働いていただく環境に変わっていこうという意思表明がすでにされております。これから障害があるなしにかかわらず、働く情熱と意欲さえあれば、そういうチャンスが得られる時代にアフターコロナはしなければいけませんし、必ずなると私は確信をしております。そのためにもこれからのハンセン病との戦いは若い皆様方が自信を持って活動をしていただくということがブレイクスルーになると思っておりますし、私自身が皆様方と共に連帯を強化して共に社会を変えるための先頭に立とうではありませんか。皆様方は大いに自信を持っていらっしゃいます。チャレンジングな精神をお持ちでございます。失敗を恐れることはありません。間違っているのは社会が間違っているわけでございまして、皆様方の考えや 行動を制約する何者もありません。自信を持っていただいて、共にアフターコロナがそういう多様性を認める。多様性の中には、ハンセン病の患者回復者、その子どもたちの皆さんの教育ということもありましょうし、私たちはこれビッグチャンスだと捉えて、共に戦い取るんだという強い意志を持って、連帯を強化していきましょう。私たちは常に皆様方のそばにいるということをご理解ください。ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much, Mr. Sasakawa, for your strong statement to support the younger generation. So now I want to invite each panelist to respond to what Mr. Sasakawa has said. If you have any comments, if there's something you want to say to Mr. Sasakawa, please go ahead. So who wants to start? Mr. Rahul, maybe you can start first.
जी हाँ सर, आदरणीय सासाकावा जी से मेरा प्रश्न है कि जो भी पीड़ित भाई हैं या फिर कुछ, तो उनके मन से वो डर कैसे निकाले कि जो उनमें छुआछूत घृणा का भाव जो उनमें बैठ गया है, उसको कैसे निकाले सर? मेरा पहला प्रश्न ये है। मेरा दूसरा प्रश्न ये है कि कुछ रोगी जो लोग हैं, उन लोगों को स्वाभिमान कैसे दिलाएं, उन लोगों को डिग्निटी कैसे दिलाएं? अगर वो लोग अपने अधिकार को कैसे तो उसके प्रति उनको संघर्ष के लिए कैसे उत्साहित करें? और मेरा आखिरी प्रश्न है कि हम युवाओं को इसमें किसी भी बिना मूल्य दिए हुए कैसे इस प्रोग्राम में जोड़ें?
Thank you very much, Mr. Rahul. Very interesting questions.
わかりました。先ほど来申し上げておりますが、これはさまざまな手法を講じていかなければいけません。例えば、インドでは一つ大きく成功しておるのは、やはりエイパルという回復者の全国組織ができました。私は若い方々のエイパルの組織も必要だと思っておりますので、これからの時代、未来志向で若い方々が中心になって活動をしていただきたいと思っております。そのためには、正しい知識の普及はいろいろな方法で、かつて私たちがやってきたように、それぞれのインドの州の首相にあって彼らに正しい知識を理解させ、そしてコロニーの生活環境を変えていくために、それぞれのコロニーの長や州のエイパルのリーダーを私は各州の首相にも合わせ、あるいはテレビやラジオでキャンペーンをしてきました。そういうことを皆様方が今度中心になってやっていただき、私たちがその後押しをするということで活動を展開していこうではありませんか。若い人たちはこのハンセン病に対する知識を持ってないだけでありまして、これが今や治る病気である、伝染する病気ではない、神様の罰でもないということは、理解することは彼らは簡単にしてくれると思います。従いまして、私たちの日常活動が大変重要だと思っております。かつてインドで、女学校で私は話したこともありますし、いろいろな学校で話をしたことがあります。そういう話を聞いたことがないだけでありまして、彼らにハンセン病のニュースをどのようにして伝えていくかという努力が私たちは さらに重要になってくると思います。お年寄りを理解させるのは大変難しいです。しかし若い人たちはやはり学校教育をきちっと受けておりますから、私は理解が大変早い、そういう点では楽観をいたしております。それから2番目のこの皆様方の尊厳や権利を回復者の皆さんが権利をどのようにしたら知ることができるでしょうかという質問につきましては、これは私たちの努力も足りませんが、インドの場合にはエイパルがこの国連決議をもって各コロニーを回りまして、こういうことになったんですよと、自信を持ちましょうという説明をしたときに、大変印象的な言葉が返ってきたことがあります。それは私たちのようにハンセン病で苦しんできた人間に人権というものがあるんでしょうかという質問を受けたことがあります。そのようにお年寄りの回復者はセルフディスクリミネーションをお持ちの方が多いんです。従いまして私たちはすでに国連で決議を得ていることをもっともっと患者回復者の皆さんに徹底的に知っていただくことによって、自分たちは正当な権利もあるし、インドの国民としての権利があるんだということを理解してもらうための活動をやはりもっと活発にする必要があると思います。どちらかというと今までは環境の整備という方向に重点があったわけでございますが、これからはそういう方向に進もうではありませんか。何かラウールさんありますか？
Yeah, I think Mr. Sasakawa has answered to the question made by Mr. Rafu. So the next seems that Mr. Joshua had some questions. So Mr. Joshua, please go ahead.
J'ai une question. Donc, merci pour la question de M. Rafu et de M. Sasakawa. Ma question, donc, comme il n'y a pas trop de temps, je vais essayer d'écouter. Donc, dans la lutte contre la lèpre, il est très important l'aspect mental. Donc, parce que la lèpre a un lien avec l'aspect mental. Car souvent, les personnes affectées par la lèpre qui ont des séquelles sont des personnes déprimées. Donc, aussi, il y a les enfants dans certaines localités où il y a la lèpre, ici, la lèpre qui se trouve en tout cas dans la toxicomanie. Donc, ma question, c'est de savoir comment aider ces enfants-là, comment les récupérer donc, à l'abandon de cette mauvaise pratique, en tout cas qui détruit complètement leur vie sociale. Et puis, la deuxième question, comment renforcer la lutte contre la mutilation dans des endroits où souvent les personnes affectées par la lèpre se retardent, ils perdent leur temps auprès du guérisseur traditionnel. Et cela cause, ça aggrave la mutilation, parce que quand on prend du temps avec les guérisseurs traditionnels, le traitement n'est pas efficace. C'est ce qui aggrave souvent la mutilation. Donc, comment, en tout cas, renforcer ou bien aider ces personnes à l'abandon des guérisseurs traditionnels pour fréquenter les centres de santé où ils peuvent avoir un diagnostic précis et efficace. Et la troisième question, donc, comment lutter contre la mendicité afin de promouvoir la dignité des personnes affectées par la lèpre? Parce qu'en tout cas, dans certaines localités, la mendicité est devenue en tout cas une pratique en tout cas d'actualité. Donc c'est ça en tout cas mes questions. Je vous remercie. Merci beaucoup.
病気の問題は2つあると思います。ご承知のようにハンセン病というのは痛みを伴わない病気なんですね。ですからどうしても病院に行くことが遅れる。 あるいはそれがハンセン病だと分かると生きにくいという二重の問題がありますが、今世界的には早期発見、早期治療ということで頑張っているわけでございます。で、この回復者の皆さんのお年寄りがハンセン病を正しく理解をしていないというお話もありましたが、これは回復者の皆さんに教えてください。確かにジョシュアさんがおっしゃる点は非常に重要な点です。お年寄りの回復者、患者さんはハンセン病がどういう病気か知りません。確かにそうだと思います。中には神様の罰であるとか、遺伝した病気だと思っている方もいらっしゃるでしょう。ぜひともそういう方々に、これは治る病気なんです。で、昔は薬もなかったけども、今は薬がタダで配布されて治る病気になってきたんで、決して恥ずかしい病気でも何でもないと。たくさん数ある病気のうちの一つになっただけなんだから、おじいさんおばあさん、自信を持って生きていきましょうということを教えてあげるということは確かに重要なことですね。私たちは社会に向かってハンセン病は治る病気だ、遺伝はしないんだ、薬はタダである、早期治療すれば生涯も残らないということを言ってますが、あなたの言う通り、すでになってしまった人たちのその気持ちを正しくハンセン病を理解をさせるための活動というものは確かに重要ですね。それはやはり生きる自信を持っていただくと。我々は神様の罰だと思って今まで静かに過ごしてきたけども、そうじゃなかったんだ。数ある病気の一つになっただけなんだと思っていただくことは大変重要なことですね。
Mr. Joshua, do you have any questions to Mr. Sasakawa?
Sim. Creio que algumas dessas perguntas já foram respondidas, né? Mas a primeira é: quais seriam as atividades necessárias para que a hanseníase não fosse esquecida, para que ela não seja esquecida como foi durante a pandemia da Covid-19? E como implementá-los, como implementar essas atividades na nossa realidade.
マルコさん、私はマトグロッソにも入りました。本当に申し訳ないけども、多くの新規、たった私は1日でございましたけども、確か8人か9人の患者さんを発見をしました。私はブラジルの中で最もマトグロッソを素晴らしい州をハンセン病をゼロにしたいと。知事さんも日曜日にもかかわらず奥さんと共に私を訪ねてきてくれたことがあります。で、ご質問のようにコロナの問題はかつて世界が近年経験したことのない世界的なパンデミックを起こしました。人もお金も物も動かない時代というのは我々多分現代に生きる者は一度も経験したこともない出来事だと思っております。従いまして全てのことがとにかく人と人と会うことが良くないことなんですから、全てが止まってしまう。特に保健省におきましては、それでなくても多くのエイズですとか、あるいは TB、結核ですとか、数多くの病気を抱えております。また、最近では、かつては発展途上国においては、感染症が最大の問題でございましたが、今や生活水準も上がったために、さまざまな生活習慣病と言われる循環器の病気ですとか、糖尿病ですとか、いろいろな病気が出てきましたので、患者数からいくと、ハンセン病がやはり2桁も3桁も数が少ないために、どうしてもこの対策の優先順位が下がってしまうわけでございますので、それを排除するためには、やはり私たちが大いに活動しなければいけないと思うんですが、ブラジルにおける模範の政治的影響力というものは大変強いものをお持ちであることを私は身をもって知っておりますので、ブラジルにおけるこのハンセン病対策というものにつきましては、私は模範の大きな政治力、そして大きな組織力によって私はこれを成功裏に導くことが可能だと思っております。皆さん方はすでに日本について世界で2番目にハンセン病の回復者に対する損害賠償もお支払いになりましたし、またその引き離された子どもたちとの間の再会のための活動を成功されたということも私はよく知っておりますので、マルコスさんのような若い方々がさらに模範の先頭に立ってご活躍をいただくことを心から期待をしております。
Obrigado pela explicação. Eu creio que essas atividades que é desenvolvida pela Fundação Sasakawa e pelos órgãos parceiros, né, a Morhan, conseguem estar fazendo com que haja visibilidade das pessoas atingidas pela hanseníase, né, fazendo com que elas tenham um respaldo dos seus direitos, né, um respaldo legal daquilo que é garantido pelas constituições, né? Então, é de suma importância as atividades que é desenvolvidas pela Fundação Sasakawa, né, pelo apoio. E uma pergunta que eu faço também é como traçar estratégias para a eliminação da hanseníase como um problema de saúde pública. Creio que a hanseníase não existe como ser eliminada do nosso contexto, mas como eliminá-la como um problema de saúde pública? Quais seriam as medidas para eliminar a hanseníase como um problema de saúde pública? Não eliminá-la como doença, que eu creio que isso não é possível a gente eliminar a hanseníase no nosso contexto. No entanto, como eliminá-la como um problema de saúde pública, né?
一番重要なことはやはり保健省における政策の優先順位をハンセン病を上げていただくということが一番大事なことです。もちろんそこには優先順位があれば予算も余分につくわけでございますので、これは大変重要なことだと思います。で、率直に申し上げますが、ブラジルにおきまして一つの大きな問題は皮膚科の お医者さんの権限、力が大変強いということが、一つマイナス要因として率直に申し上げます。
Eu vou
聞こ
falar
え
em
ました
português.
か？それではち
Tentando
ょっと続け
responder.
ます。
Ah,
例えば、私は行きましたけども、アマゾンの奥地で私は患者を発見したことがありますが、アマゾンの奥地から一番近い病院に行くまでには2日時間がかかります。そして薬は1ヶ月分しか渡さないことになっております。他の国々では6ヶ月分を渡してくれますから、1回行けばほぼ解決すると。場合によっては最悪でも2回行けばいいと。しかし、貧しい人たちが毎月費用を使って遠い病院まで行かなければいけないというのは、他の国にはないことでございまして、これはブラジルの皮膚科のお医者さんがどうしても1ヶ月に1回は診断をしないと薬をあげないということになっておりますので、この点が大変世界の中でユニークな診療方法をとっておられることが少し率直に言って残念なことだと思っています。
Thank you very much. I am afraid that the time is up now. We are supposed to finish this webinar 45 minutes ago. So if it is all right with you, I want to close this panel discussion.
いや皆さん方ね、本当にお話ができて嬉しいございます。またやりましょうよ、近いうちに。ね、時間をこしらえて、何遍でもやりましょう。相互理解と、そして連帯を深めるために、このオンラインは一つ有効な方法でございますので、たびたび皆さん方とディスカッションをし、私の知らないことを皆さん方から教えていただき、そして私がそれをツールとして各国の大統領や首相、あるいは WHO の最高幹部、あるいは国連人権理事会のトップの方に説明をするいい材料を皆様からいただいておりますので、今日のウェビナーに私、皆さん方の発言に心から感謝を申し上げますと同時に、皆様方の意見がさらに指導力のある方々にお伝えすることをお約束いたします。
Thank you very much for your final remarks, Mr. Sasakawa. I think Mr. Sasakawa is right. We can continuously organize this kind of event. And I'm sure that the next time we are going to have more time for this kind of dialogue between the good ambassador and you youngsters. And I also apologize to the audience.
そうですね。若い3人のお方はまだ不満そうな顔をしてますよ。喋り足りなかったという顔をなさってますから、一度やらなきゃいけませんね。
Yeah, definitely. We got a commitment from Mr. Sasakawa, so I'm sure we are going to organize the event. And I also want to apologize to the audience. I'm looking at the chat box. There are so many interesting questions and comments. So because of a time constraint, I couldn't take them, but I'm sure I'm going to share all of them with Mr. Sasakawa. So thank you very much. And I want to turn it over to Kiyomi for the final remarks.
Thank you very much for the wonderful discussion. I'm going to wrap up the webinar now. Thank you everyone for your attendance today. As I mentioned, the Global Youth Forum will be held in March. Once the date is fixed, it will be posted on our website. I hope we will see you at the forum again. Also, the Global Appeal website will be available this coming Friday. Please visit our website, once you get its URL through our SNS postings as well as email newsletter. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
Hasta luego. Saludos de Colombia.
Hasta luego. Que Dios te bendiga.
Igualmente.